Fratello the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. Fratello the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast.
Buonasera, benvenuti. Welcome everyone to another episode of Fratelli di Rugby Podcast, the podcast that brings you all the infos about Italy rugby, Italian players abroad. Tonight, May already scored his first try, his first professional try, and we are happy to celebrate him because it's great to have a center playing in France in Pro D2. But talking about France, Mike, we are gonna face France on Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. Rome time. So my 5 p.m., your 3 p.m. Nice. Better way to finish the weekend, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. And on a Sunday.
How you feel? Let's bring back that question from last week. How do you feel about this game? Any pressure? Any fears? Any belief?
It's a good question, isn't it? I think like the week before, I think, you asked me, how do I feel? And I said I didn't feel sort of afraid. It was time for us to show sort of what we're capable of. For me, I think this game is a bit of a free hit for us, right? First of all, we got the win that we needed under our belt. So now we can start focusing on, growing on the performance that we've already put out, and we need to be better. Obviously, France are coming with a power game motto, so it's one of those where that's where we normally struggle. But how do I feel? I think the boys have a good opportunity for an upset. So it's a free hit for us. All the pressure's on France.
And those few times that we won against France was in Italy, right?
Yeah.
Right, Mike. We are gonna play in Italy, right?
Right.
We never won there. We draw last game, and I think last two couple of games against France were really bitter in a way, and the other one was bitter for us. There was a kind of a relief for the French. So who knows? Maybe this week is gonna be the good one. And we're gonna change, but let's see. Phantom, welcome. Beniamino, welcome. Through last step, looking for through last step. The Italian team that is not so changed. I mean, everything was predictable for Italy. Also, Rugby Rama was talking about Italy's team like without surprise, like classic. What you expecting? The same team, Mike. One injury change, two injuries change, and a couple of difference in the bench. But that's the team we have, actually, right?
Yeah. Like, I mean, Quesada likes consistency. I think we've learned that now. He's building a team for 2027. We need to keep this consistency up. And, these are young players for the most part, which haven't had much experience, and now's the time, if not now, when, right? So it's going to be interesting to see sort of how the players react to last year. Obviously, I'm sure everyone was bitterly disappointed. It was really unfortunate what happened, but now they've got a chance to rectify last game, and how exciting they must be to actually get down and play me. I'm excited for them. I think it's like I said, it's a bit of a free hit, mate. Like, maybe they can try some new stuff against, top tier opposition, and if it comes off, maybe we're going to get rewarded for it. So, just lots of stuff to be really excited about as an Italian fan, I think.
And a lot of players to be excited for. One of them, of course, is Simone Gessi, that find his second starting after the Scotland game of 2 years ago now, in the summer. No, in the Six Nations was that, but. That is the talk about this player. Let's say about the back three, a really light back three. Thinking also about the bench that we're gonna have the stepper, the hot stepper Trulla, said from Beniamino. Then we're gonna have the only back from the bench with Alessandro Garbisi, of course, the other scrum half. So shall we start from there to analyze our team? Because then not other news to say. I mean, the team is that one. Maybe was predictable, but it need to be dropped for this game. We were saying that Zilocchi
Yes.
played really well last year against France. Maybe also for that. But you tell me about this back three, Mike. Light back three. What kind of game you're expecting from us in that area of the field?
Yeah, I think France tend to be a team recently that don't like to kick contestables. They've got Louis Biarré on one wing. Obviously, he's similar sort of stature to Capuozzo, I think it's fair to say. Obviously, I don't think they're going to be kicking too many contestables based on like what they've put on the bench. I think they're probably going to be looking to put through the middle. So I think actually what we're going to try and do is try and move those big heavy forwards as much as we possibly can and try and ship it wide, force them to move. I think that's what we're expecting. So I assume we're going to try and move the ball out past the 13 channel very quickly to our quick backs, and then, like I said, force the forwards and the French backs to almost turn and move. Right, we've got 7 beasts against us on the bench, and we've got 8 beasts starting against us. So in the forward pack. So I think that's the plan. Otto is going to beat him with speed and agility.
It's gonna be an agility. It's gonna be all that work because Galtier did a good bluff, like when you play poker. He said no, because we bring in these players because Italy put a lot of pressure in some areas of the game. They're really great, and I always think maybe in the rack we can be better. We always saying that it's something like maybe structural of Italy, like it's been for years always that issue at the entry in the 22 and also the kicking game. Those were the big 3 issues of Italy for years.
Yeah,
and it's weird how like it justify in a certain way that. But yeah, I agree with you, because we played in that way. Probably we're gonna try to follow in the same way like last year in Lille. Be quick or be dead, like the Iron Maiden used to say in some songs, if I remember well. Then Phantom knows more than me, probably of jazz, but yeah, that work. And how many points you want to be scored by Tommy Allen this week, Mike? A lot, right?
Yeah,
A lot of scoreboard pressure.
I love scoreboard pressure, but I want to see us take points from this game, right? Whether we win, whether we lose, whether we draw again. I want to see points taken away. So if it means now is an opportunity where we're going to be chasing a game, if we're behind on the scoreboard, cool. Like if we're in touch, kick the points, stay in touch. If not, I want to see us go and just express ourselves, because there's 2 more games to play after this, and the French are hurting from last week. Like a couple of passes go to
shock.
Yeah, a couple of passes go to hand, and they could have beaten England by 3 clear tries. They're not a bad team, and I think everyone who's deluding themselves into thinking that France are suddenly a bad team. France is still France, right? So if they do end up on the front foot, let's find a way of playing our own game. That's what I'm more excited to see, Otto, because we've been hearing about this transition in attack. We've seen the transition in defense. We've seen how effective the defense has been over the past, 6, 7, 8 test matches that we've seen this new defense deployed post Maris leaving, right? Now, let's see what the attack can do. That's what I'm excited to see, because I don't think we've seen it yet. And that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, I want to see some trick from our defense. I think one of it's gonna be hard in a certain way, because probably the way this 7+1 is gonna put in the center of the attention, even the space to create for Dupont, because it's gonna have a power game, so it's gonna have always fresh forwards ready to kill the game. So it's gonna move a lot around the field, and then it's gonna be an area where we have to be really smart anticipate and trying to kill that momentum. But in general, Mike, it's an opportunity. Still, Rugby Rama was saying about we have to don't panic because
Yeah,
France sometimes,
it's only Italy. I saw that.
yeah,
Um,
so con calma, right? I mean, yeah, because sometimes France is that kind of team that start thinking about themselves. Why? They get mad to themselves and
Yeah.
they collapse sometimes.
Yeah.
Like last year, they did a great game against us with pushing. The first half was crazy. Then what happened to Dante is not my fault if somebody goes that way tackling. So no problem for me about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But it's also a different team. Honestly, in the backs, if there were Dante Fiku, I was much more worried. But still trusting Brexoncelli in the centers because Moefana, Barassi, I don't think still today they are not fantastic players. They are not what in their peak were Dante and Figu.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that actually because I saw on X, I think it was Hugh Griffin put a post up on, I don't know if you saw it, about all of the players and the different permutations that they can play with the 7-1. But the one place that they don't have cover for is if Barassi gets injured. Apparently, they don't have anyone that's ever played that position. So if he gets
Yeah.
injured, then obviously it's going to be interesting for them as well.
Yeah, because Leo Barre, you can play wing 10, 15, 12. Ramos 10, 15. Moefana can play on the wing too. Because he used to play. He did some caps for France, I think, as 11. I think also against us. And then they have Jegu and Boudon, the two forwards that they can play because they used to play there when they were under. Kind of. So
The
that
question
is
is, though,
an option, but I don't think, as you said, that number 13 is uncovered.
it's also it's the toughest defensive position, right? So like it's quite a tough one to lose out on. We sometimes see, you know, when 13s come off, like especially in a Sean Edwards defense where 13 is like such a core, you know, the defensive leader. Like I don't know, man. Like they've left a lot up for a lot up for like luck and chance, right? It's one of those where like if they get a bit unlucky, if he gets a red card, then what? Then what? Who goes there? Dupont?
Hey, let's see what they have. Mike, the other question about Italy was about Favoretto and Canali. I was saying maybe Canali because last year, but we were saying also Favoretto started last year.
Yeah.
So those two players that are in a certain way related to France, one played, the other one not. One playing as a 6, so in a different position. So Favoretto will start. Will start from the bench this weekend. Canali is being dropped. You see something that is not like you don't like. I talking with some of the guys, Emanuele and the other ones between the two chats, Fratelli and mine. We were thinking about the bench. Maybe somebody was saying Varney Marin because can cover multiple positions. Honestly,
Personally,
for me, everything is good at this moment.
yeah.
I accept the decision. It's not something like crazy call, like what you're doing, why you bringing only Garbisi from the bench, right? Why you're spending a 7-1. Can you imagine, Mike, if this was Quesada was going to present a pasta pack, a rigatoni pack, 7-1?
I'm not upset about any of the selection, mate. To be honest, like I said, I fully expected it. Obviously, with Monty leaving, Jersey has his opportunity. Let's see how he sort of takes that. And you know, I had a couple of people ask me about Trulla. Trulla has been brilliant the past 2 seasons, and he's always been there or thereabouts with a shout of playing for Italy. And he's obviously someone who, against tired legs, he could potentially be really impactful. And let's be honest, a lot of these players are being scouted for France, right? This is a really important point. A lot of the players that we see are in the Italian team are being scouted for France for next season. So clearly they're good enough to play against the team that they're playing against. And that's
Absolutely.
something that I think people need to take some solace with, because if they weren't, the top 14 teams wouldn't be interested. And that's a really important point for us as a nation. It means we're going in the right direction, but also it means that there's a chance for us to really cement, where we are and really understand where we are as a nation against France this week.
There are a couple of questions. Why, in the meantime, I'm putting the French team up. Let me zoom it a little bit so we can see it better. But I want to say thank you to Daniele De Rossi, or Daniele, double L alla Argentina style. If not, Danielle, love the podcast. And of course, thank you. Expecting a big performance. Yes. And I think Italy can hurt France with an open game. Interesting. This, like, you're going to push a lot there. We're going to play out and you have to run around.
Agree.
I would like to see something like that. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to our Instagram. Of course, you can find us as a Fratelli di Rugby. And if you want to see Francois May try, we just posted like 20 minutes after it was scored. So the game, I think, is over now, but you can go and watch the video of the first professional try of Francois May, our Italian center, for Angoulême Charente playing there. So good for him. We had also Imberti going on. So also the youngest players, Mike. We have so many young under 20 GIF project players in France.
Good. Long may it continue on. Yeah.
Exactly. Let's see. So, Mike, Pierre Barry, Atisog, so youngsters in the wing for them. Barassi, Mofana. Barre is a really good back, really stylish for me. Strong back rowers, quick and agile Flamand Guillard as a locks, and then they have experience and quality. Gross Movaca Antonio. When you think Dupont is gonna move out, and you think he's gonna go at 10 with Barre, or is gonna be Ramos out? Who's gonna be the player that goes out there? Ramos or Barre?
I think Barre.
Barre, the kicking. Ramos will kick. Ramos will do everything else you need to do.
Yeah. I think the game management wise is just going to stay there. It's going to be interesting though. So, like, if Barre goes out, who would then go fullback for you? Would you say?
If Barre goes out, is gonna.
We go Ramos fullback, Dupont 10, or Luku 10. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think maybe the surprise can be Luku at 10.
Which he plays as well, right?
I saw him probably quite quick. Let me go check. Luku. I remember sometimes to get the ball as a 10. That I remember, but let's see. Profile and stats. Maxime Luku.
Whilst you're doing that, I'd like to answer Daniele's question. So, Daniele, if I had an open checkbook, what would I do to grow the game amongst the casual Italian public and boost general interest in the sport? I think for me, it's clear that we need to try and get Zebre to stay. If I had an open checkbook, we'd invest in Zebre, make sure that they're getting the same sort of funding to Benetton, 2 winning franchises, a clear elite pathway. As soon as we start winning, people, like you said, if a few wins will sort that out. As soon as we start winning, we know that the people will ride that gravy train. So, if I had an open checkbook, if I had a magic wand, that resolves everything. And then potentially, if I had depends on how open this checkbook is. If I had a massively open checkbook, I'd also buy a 3rd franchise, put it in Rome, open up the south. Then all of a sudden we've got a fully national game. That's what I would do, and I think that would resolve everything personally. So those are sort of the two. If I, this is where I'm making my manifesto, Ottavio, for president, right? Yes. That's what we should do.
Yeah. So guys, of course, I'm putting all this question up because you can see this question on YouTube. I see that now we are 51 live, 40 on Instagram, and 40 on X and 11 on YouTube. So you can chat with us wherever you want, but please go on YouTube. Well, this legendary Mike says Phantom and
Magic wand off the.
Marchand-Bay Aldegheri to Fifenua, that was really a key player 2 years ago. Ruma Jegu Jalonge, Luku. They have for every position because they have a number 8, they have a 7, they have a lock. Actually, they have 2 locks, 2 strong open side, let's say, both open side, blind side. So they have everything, but who knows what's going to happen? What's going to happen in those backs, right, Mike?
It's high risk, high reward, isn't it, Otto?
They are. You know what surprised me? It's the choice. Why you think? Come on, because for me, you can drop whoever you want, but bring another center. I mean, you are what you have to show in that way. I don't get it. That's the only thing for me, Mike. 7-1. Why you don't think you're gonna be good enough with a 6-2? Of course, you can do whatever you want because the team is yours. You are the selector and everything. But come on, Deporter cannot play a game against us.
Yeah,
I
genuinely think they're worried about this game. Like, and I mean that with like respect because France are obviously far more mature team. You know, they win more than us, right? They're more like France is France, right? And I need to say that just as a caveat, right? But I don't think France see us as a pushover game, and I think they know that a power game against us, the same way a power South Africa have a power game against everyone, it works, right? And I think actually they're seeing it as an opportunity to squeeze us a little bit, and I don't think they care about
to close the game earlier and having options in the afternoon, like later on in the game, to keep it there far away.
Yeah, that's what I think is
team that give a lot of we concede a lot of points in the last 20 minutes. We are still that kind of team too. That really surprised me with the choices, but they're gonna play so tight with those pods, with those players, I guess, that probably for this reason too, they want just to keep it there, stay there, don't move around.
Yeah, they're gonna play. They're gonna play what I reckon they're gonna do. Otto, they're gonna kick long. As soon as it gets into R22, they're gonna try and win by defending. Run it out, kick it out, whatever you want. But we're gonna pin you into your. They're gonna play the territory game. Like they've got big boys. Like imagine having to try run round Antonio. If I had a card, run out of fuel before I get round him. It's one of those, mate.
There is one thing about France that is really good. They are the team that conceded less penalties in the first 2 rounds. So even with the red card, if we put the red card from Tamak, they're still the cleanest team, which is surprising. Because they I think concede 11-12 penalties. Hopefully they're gonna concede 12 penalties only this game against us because it's good. And Phantom, che birra bevo? I'm drinking a Kloster Gold Hell, something like this. So Mr. Kloster Cheyenne, if you want to support Fratelli di Rugby, send a couple of barrels, one in England and one in Bulgaria. So we're gonna
couple of barrels. That'll do.
Yes, couple of barrels. Come on. Beniamino goes with put money, flood woman rugby with money, bigger return on investment because woman rugby is blowing up. Good shout too. For me, for me, another thing is try to bring around more team. Like let play Benetton in Bari one game. Let play Zebra in Rome another game. I would like to see the 2 franchise moving around because I think the passion be amazing and can be an opportunity to start building on something like, okay, this year, maybe in 2 years. I know you want to keep your locals there, but 1-2 games, bring it
Yeah, we
down.
need to grow
Go
the game.
south.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't
yeah,
buy it in the south.
No. What I will say as well, actually, no, because you've just with my open checkbook, right? So yeah, I buy a franchise and stuff, but also low hanging fruit for me with small amount of investment, right? Federal investment would be doing something like Argentina have done with the sevens. Like I think I don't understand why we don't do something like that, or like it seems to me like we've got just as big a talent pool as Argentina, if not bigger. Why aren't we doing something similar with the sevens? And also, it's an Olympic game, so we can get Connie involved as well. I just that's something for me where I've never quite understood why we're not as good as we could be there.
We should. I hope we will change in a certain way, Mike, because it's a good opportunity to grow for us, moving around, doing better in a certain way. But you know what? Also, something that they do in the south, in New Zealand, bring back the players to their original team for one game a year. A cameo 20 minutes. Let play Menoncello in Paese. Let's play, I don't know, Lamaro with Capitolina. Cannone to Firenze is gonna be. How happy can he be? The
Yeah, that'd be
Cannones,
hilarious.
actually, they can be.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I love
something like that would be fantastic to see. And of course, send Fekitoa to, I don't know, Viadana, random place, to Mogliano, one game in Mogliano, just to. And I think people will go to watch this game just to see him closer, because sometimes you know it's from your team, but you don't see him there every day. So you push on the club rugby, what you want. You want investment there too. Let's
yeah,
see.
for sure. Yeah,
Italy, we see Padua, Ravigo. This is dangerous. This could be really dangerous.
bottles are going to get thrown
off the region. Bring them off the region. Maybe we're gonna be better. But Mike, prediction on the scoreboard. In case we lose, in case we win.
So you want a heart and you want a head one, yeah?
Yes, exactly. You got it.
Right. So I'll go with the head one because that's slightly more depressing. But I think for me, if I'm being realistic, I think they can beat us by 15 points.
By
I think
15.
I think they're looking at what they did to Wales, and I know we were better than Wales, but again, 10 minutes of madness at the end. I think they could beat us by 15. My heart says we play out of our skins. The boys, play an expansive, exciting game, and we beat them by like. Well, I'll tell you what. We beat. It's funny you say 3. I put money on us beating them by 11. So that goes to show you what my heart thinks. God, maybe I need to go to the doctor and get checked out. But yeah, I was saying heart. I said Italy by 11. Oh, you're muted on the on the on the actual thing. Yeah. Otto got so excited he muted himself. Yeah. You unmuted yourself for a second there. Oh, and Otto's gone. But yeah, so welcome back.
Now, does it work now?
Got you.
Okay, I'm back. Yes. I don't know why it pop up like you are not connected anymore with your microphone. Why? I didn't touch anything, and it's not the beer. But anyway, by 3, yes, by 3. I would like to see it by 3, Mike, because if I have to push with heart, yes, I was expecting like the game to remember, like the Quesada game, even more than the victory against Scotland. There is a couple of thoughts about this from our chats. One is from Mattia that was saying like, you know what, they put more player and we go with the with the anchovies, with Lachuga, how they call it, Jesse, right? With the slim player, the slim reapers, we can call them. Like we go with Allen in case Capozzo is gonna move to as a fullback. We're gonna put Trulla, so the youngs, and we will start joking about the storks from Robin Hood from Disney, when Robin Hood the fox start being like a storks with like so slim, and it's interesting, like two completely different approach in this game. On one side you have France power game, and the other one you say, you know what, I'm gonna bring Gerbisi and Trulla. And it's interesting, that point of view on this game. Like it seems like two philosophies in a certain way to go like that.
Yeah.
Don't bring a center, more like classic traditional. Don't bring even we were thinking about what if movement on cello surprise, and who's gonna be the other center. We don't have Mori. We were chatting about this too last week, and for me it's really, I mean, it's food for thoughts for me, like two approach, and now let's see how these two approach will move in the game for 80 minutes, and of course how strong you're gonna be with your mind. Actually, more than the if you're strong in your mind, your body's gonna work better, even if you cannot do anything else. But it's gonna be interesting. I call Jesse a trick, so Phantom is drinking more than me, but let me cut my beard twice. If this is gonna happen, I'm gonna cut it twice. Phantom, I'm gonna write Phantom on my beard.
Christopher makes a really good point there, and I think
Yes.
actually this is something that we probably need to do. Chris says the French games have often been close, even in our bad era of 2015 to 2021. If we start fast, the French would be under pressure, and absolutely spot on. That's one thing, because it's away from home. We start getting the crowd involved. They start questioning themselves. Different to scoreboard pressure. If the French have to overplay, then they're going to rush stuff. When it's in transition, it gives us opportunity to try and, really mess up their attack. They start questioning themselves. We say it every single time though, like we need to start fast, and that's one thing that we never do.
We never, man.
Never
It's
do.
crazy.
We need to start
I would
fast.
like to be England sometime, because England is a
Yeah.
team that usually. Do you remember also when Eddie Jones was on? Start first 20 minutes fire.
Yeah.
We're missing on that. That's true. Mike, except for Dupont, if you want to pick a player from the French team, you want to
Except
bring
from
it into
Dupont.
the Italian team. Yeah,
Mhm.
because we have Varney, that's why not. So if you have to pick a player from this French team, which is the player that you think is going to be maybe your favorite, maybe the player that can fit better the Quesada, can fit better Italy, can be the player that we need?
Bielbiere. Don't even need to think.
Bielbiere, huh?
Oh, yeah. And then I look at like Flamand, and I'm like, he is possibly one of the best locks in the world at the moment. Okay, I'll tell you what. I really like our locks and our wingers, but I think Flamand is just, he's one of the best in the world at the moment. I think we'd be stupid not to take a player like him. Although Ramos, you know what, Otto? Why have you asked me this question? I'll go Ramos, put him at fullback, then we can play Alan at 10. Cool.
And Capozzo 14, like with
Easy.
the club, right?
Easy, yeah.
With Toulouse. Ok, so Sergio Ramossi. No, Sergio, no, Thomas Sergio diventa Sergio Ramossi, Thomas Ramos.
Love it. How about you? Go on. You asked me this question. I'm sure you thought about this. Who would you take?
Wrong question, because I didn't think about it. I just did
there we go.
Too. So, can I take one that is not in the team, but is a French international? So no Pozzolo.
No, has to be someone from here, mate.
So I go with Flamand.
Yeah, he's
because I love him.
Yeah, mate, he's so good. Did you hear his backstory that he was playing 10 for Loughborough Fourths before, like 2 years before the World Cup.
He played in Argentina too.
Yeah. He's an interesting chap. That
it's like Brennan. Yeah. Like Brennan is another interesting guy, the former captain of the under-20s France that completely speak English. as
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Well, his dad
He's English. He's an
played over,
Englishman.
didn't he? Yeah. His dad went to play over, didn't he? He was yeah.
That was
Um,
interesting to see.
But yeah, Flamant's just like you can tell he's played as a back. The way like he's always in the right place as well. He's an interesting guy. He's one where we have to keep a close eye on him. I think as a team.
And sometimes I also think maybe having Antonio. Come on, Antonio. We
Yeah,
needed
Daniele
an
just said that as
Antonio.
well.
Oh, sorry, I'm not. I'm not looking at. Let me. Antonio. See.
Antonio,
Oh,
imagine him in our front row. Yeah, I mean, imagine us being able to afford to feed that man. Let's be honest.
hey, we can send him to have big dinner with Cannone. Have you ever checked when Niccolò Cannone is out? When
Loves his
he's back
steak,
in
doesn't he?
Tuscany, always eating steak, always around
Steak.
with a four-wheel drive jeep around steak. Lorenzo goes fishing, Niccolò goes hunting.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Talking about Niccolò Cannone, Mike, this weekend, Fischetti and Niccolò Cannone, they're gonna reach the 50, which is crazy, 50 caps for Italy.
Nice.
And they've been capped in the 2020 against Wales. So 5 years after, you have these 50 caps on your chin. Like, those are the project player in a certain way, right? Those players that we know they were project 2023 plus later on coming. So 50, they can reach the 80. Like, they probably can. Probably 100, they can do it. They can do it, probably 100, but at least 80, 85, sometimes injuries, sometimes choices. But I think it's great to think how we can almost go with Centurion to the World Cup. A lot of experience. Like, think about Alan. No, Alan is the top cap, but we need those players, and it's great because they saw everything in Italy, winning and losing a lot.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting point as well. So, like the two that you picked out as in particular, like Fischetti and Cannone, right? The Abood started in 2017, right? That's when he had it. So obviously they were right at the start, the precipice, the under 16s up until the under 20s when he started those pathways, right? So they were probably already in the under 20s, but they took advantage. And then obviously we've seen these players come in, Lamaro being another one, right? Licata was probably just before Abood, but like those players who were like now pushing quite consistently for the national team, they all came through that pathway. And like you said, those were like the Italian project, and now they're starting to come into fruition. And listen, you said 100 caps. I think in the past we were forced to play a lot of our players to 100 plus caps. Sergio to 150 or whatever, he got to 142, I think it was, to the point where now we've got such depth and we've got so many decent players coming underneath that it's going to be tough for players to reach 100 plus caps anymore, because we have that talent now, which is amazing. So it's going to be interesting to see sort of how we get on there.
That's true, absolutely, because now we were waiting for another prop on that side of the scrum where Fischetti is pushing, and we now have Spagnolo, and we were saying, look, if Spagnolo will start and Fischetti will be on the bench, it's going to be okay. No pasa nada.
Yeah.
Let's see. But Mike, hopefully it's gonna be a great game. I hope everybody, all the people that goes to Rome, will enjoy the city. Have you seen that Rugby Lad did a poll about which one is the best stadium in city, and I don't know why and how, but Olimpico won. So
I've got to say, it is definitely the best city I've been to. But the stadiums, I think there's better stadiums for me.
There are better stadiums, yeah, of course. There are better stadiums. Hey, Genoa was great to see.
Yeah. I mean, also like the Stade de France when they go a cappella as well. Brividi.
Goosebumps. talking about goosebumps and other good news. Last good news is that probably this summer, like almost officially, now we're gonna know dates and time and cities, but will be the Junior Rugby World Cup will be played in Italy,
Yes.
in the north, of course, Verona, Verona,
You're not bitter
Viadana,
about that at all, are you?
of course. Hey, with my accent, I can say that a lot of times. Yes, of course, you're gonna play in. Why you want to go to play to Florence? Come on, it's too deep in North Africa, right? So we'll be played in Treviso.
Yep.
We'll be played in Verona, probably first time, and then
Yep.
Calvisano and Viadana, if I'm
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe Parma, I guess. Parma,
Yeah.
maybe.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Like now that we've made the decision that it's going to stay a development franchise, does it not make sense that we play a lot of games in Parma? Like, was that me just being stupid here?
No, we have the Six Nation women Six Nation. I guess they will play in Parma.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Fine. As long as we're taking advantage of that, no?
So, we should.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. But Mike, hope you're gonna have a great weekend. Tomorrow I'm gonna be with some English friends. We're gonna watch some games home. Chili con carne, beers. So it's gonna be like that.
Yep, doing the same.
Sunday will be like a Game of Thrones. I don't know. I'm gonna feel Jon Snow on the throne. Like, oh my God, what's gonna happen?
Sweating, are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna drink coffee for the whole day.
Nervous wreck. Yeah, man. I think this is a game for Italian fans to enjoy. I think that's the way I see it, anyway.
So I hope you enjoy your podcast, guys. Thank you for being with us. Now we are 69, magic number 59
Woof.
on X goes
70
on YouTube.
woof. As people joining now, you said it.
69 Jarvo. Oh, now we are 70, 74, 75. You remember the Connells, the song? My God, I'm old.
You
are. Yes, I am. I am an old man drinking beer home, which is the best that you can do on a Friday night. Why you have to go out. And under 20 Wales is beating Ireland 14-0. Surprising. Oof. This is a surprising result. So I'm gonna run to and watch this, and then let's see what's gonna happen. Thank you, everyone. See you on Monday with another episode of Fratelli Rugby Live for the review of Italy-France and more info, more stuff to come. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, on Instagram, everywhere else. And Mike, like and subscribe, right?
Like and subscribe, guys. Yeah, it helps us out massively. Please do like and subscribe.
Come on. Boom. Ciao tutti.
Fratelli the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. Fratelli the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast.